All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to break down one of the most feared parts of the IELTS listening test, the multiple choice questions. If you've ever felt your brain just freeze up when you see them, you're not alone. And you are definitely in the right place. Let's do this. So, first things first, let's just put it out there. Why do these questions feel so unbelievably hard? I mean, seriously. Well, the truth is, they're designed that way. They're meant to be tricky. But, and this is the important part, once you understand how they're designed, you can start to beat them at their own game. So what makes them so tough? Well, for starters, you'll often hear every single option mentioned in the audio. They'll talk about A, B, and C, which is super confusing. But only one is the real answer. Then there's the speed. It feels like a race against time, right? You have to think and decide on the spot. And the real kicker? Paraphrasing. They almost never use the exact words from the options. You have to listen for the meaning, not the words themselves. So how do we fight back? Well, it all starts in the silence before the audio even plays. You know those precious 20 or 30 seconds they give you? That's not time to relax. That is go time. That's your golden window to prepare for battle. Here's your 4-step plan for that prep time. Step 1, ignore the options for a second and just read the question itself. We call that the stem. You need to know exactly what you're listening for. A reason, a name, an opinion. Next, underline the keywords in that stem. Things like names, dates, places, anything specific. Step 3, now you can scan the options. Look for the differences between them. Sometimes two are really similar, and that's usually a hint that a trap is waiting for you. And finally, turn that question stem into a real question in your head. If it says, the man chose the course because, you should be thinking, okay, why did he choose it? I absolutely love this because it just nails the mindset shift you need. You're not just sitting there waiting to hear something. No, you're an active detective. You're getting your brain ready to hunt for very specific clues. That preparation is everything. Okay, so the prep is done. The audio starts playing. Now what? Your brain is primed and ready. It's time to put your live listening method into action. This is all about what you do while the information is coming at you in real time. You just need 3 simple but super powerful rules. Rule 1, the answers will come in order. Trust it. The information for question 21 will always come before the information for 22. If you think you missed one, just let it go and move on. Rule 2, listen for the idea, not the word. Remember that paraphrasing we talked about? This is it in action. You're matching the meaning, not playing a word matching game. And rule 3, this one's a game changer. It's your secret weapon for staying engaged. And this is that weapon, the tick, cross, and question mark system. It sounds so simple, but it works. As you're listening, if you hear something that makes an option sound correct, just put a light tick next to it. Don't commit yet. If you hear something that proves an option is definitely wrong, put a big, confident cross through it. Get it out of there. And if you're not sure, or you're stuck between two, a little question mark. This forces you to constantly evaluate and eliminate, which keeps your brain sharp. All right, now for the really fun part. Let's pull back the curtain and see exactly how the test makers try to trick you. Because once you know their tricks, they're not really tricks anymore, are they? You'll start to see them coming from a mile away. So trap number 1 is what I call the keyword echo. You'll see a word in an option, let's say computer. Then in the audio, you hear the speaker say computer. Your brain goes, aha, that's it. But hold on. The speaker might say,
I was going to buy a new computer, but I spent the money on a holiday instead. See? They used the keyword to distract you, but the actual meaning was the complete opposite. Never, ever pick an answer just because you heard one matching word.
This next one is super sneaky, the half-right trap. An option will start off sounding perfect. The first part of the sentence matches what you heard exactly. But then the second half throws in a tiny detail that's totally wrong or wasn't mentioned at all. Your mission is to check that the entire option is 100% correct. If even one little word is off, the whole thing is wrong.
And then we have the contrast and correction trap. You need to train your ears to perk up whenever you hear words like but, however, or actually. Think of them like giant flashing signs. In this example, evening classes is mentioned first. That's the bait, but that little word bud completely flips it around. The real answer is mornings. These contrast words are almost always pointing you directly to the correct information.
Okay, let's talk about that beast of a question. Choose two or choose three letters from a huge list of options. These can feel totally overwhelming, but there's a strategy. First thing you do, and I mean literally the first thing, grab your pencil and circle the instruction, 2 or 3. You'd be surprised how many people forget and just pick one.
Now, the best way to handle these long lists is to change your mindset. Don't think of it as one big question. Instead, treat every single option, A, B, C, D, and so on, like its own mini true, false, or not given question. As you listen, you just ask yourself, for option A, did they say this? Yes, it's true. Did they say the opposite? It's false. Did they not really mention it? It's not given. This turns chaos into a calm, logical process. And here's a quick pro tip to stop your brain from overloading on these questions. In that short prep time, just scribble a single keyword next to each option. A for cheap, B for flexible, C for fast. It's so much easier to keep track of single words than rereading those long sentences over and over while you're trying to listen. So, we've gone through all the strategies, the mindset, the traps. But just knowing this stuff isn't enough, right? You have to practice in a way that turns these techniques into automatic habits. That's how you build real, unshakable confidence for test day. If you only do one type of practice, please make it this one. I call it the 2-pass practice. First, do a set of questions just like it's the real test. Get the timing right, no interruptions. Then do the second pass. Listen to the same audio again, but this time pause after every single question and force yourself to explain why the wrong answers are wrong. Which trap did they use? Was it a keyword echo, a half-right answer? This analysis is where the deep learning really happens. Want to level up even more? You can do some targeted drills. To get better at paraphrasing, take some old questions and just try to rewrite the options in your own words. To get faster at preparing, set a timer for just 20 seconds and see how quickly you can preview a question, underline keywords, and get the main idea. You're building that mental muscle. And a final crucial reminder, how many answers should you leave blank on your answer sheet? The answer is right here, a big fat 0. There's no penalty for wrong answers in IELTS. So if you're totally lost on a question, just take your best educated guess and move on. A 25% chance is always better than a 0% chance. So let's just wrap this all up. Getting these questions right isn't about luck. It's about having a system. It's about being an evidence collector. You prepare like crazy, you listen for the real meaning, you ruthlessly eliminate the wrong answers, and then you move on with confidence. So I'm going to leave you with this question to take with you. The next time you sit down to practice, now that you know the inside game, which trap are you going to be actively hunting for first? The keyword echo? The half-right trap? When you start thinking like the person who made the test, everything changes. You've got this.